Hello. So in managerial accounting, there are going to be some Excel spreadsheets that require you to have a basic understanding of Excel formulas and cell referencing. Now we know that most of you have probably already taken CGS 1060 or CGS 1100, your computing courses, and therefore have a basic understanding of Excel. However, from teaching this course in the past, we have learned that many students don't quite understand what we mean when we say that we need a formula or we need cell referencing. So what we're going to do here today is just have a very basic review of how to do formulas and how to do cell referencing in Excel. So I have a problem before us here. This is a multi-step income statement, so it's not managerial accounting. We're actually bringing something up back from Accounting 1. Hopefully it looks familiar and you remember it. That way you won't be focusing so much on content, but focusing on how to do certain items. Now, whenever you receive an Excel for this course, you will receive most of them. You'll be receiving a data section and then an input area. Now, when you're inputting this information, so for example, if the first thing we want to do in this multi-step income statement is include sales, you won't just be taking that $500,000 and typing it in. That's not what we would be looking for. Instead, what we want you to do is we want you to be referencing the cells. So for example, if this first one is sales and this is the cell that includes the sales figure, we will just do an equal sign and then click on the cell that contains the sales for that number or for this particular problem. Once you're done with that, simply click enter on your keyboard. Now you'll notice once you click enter, that number is automatically grabbed. Same thing for cost of merchandise sold, equal sign, find cost of merchandise sold, click, and enter. Now, once we get to something that actually involves math, in Excel, if we wanted to, we could go ahead and we could do the math off to the side. Hopefully you remember that gross profit is sales minus cost of merchandise sold. What we could do is we could be putting those numbers in, but what we want you to be doing in managerial accounting is we don't want you putting the numbers in. We want you again to be referencing the appropriate cells. So in this case, for our formula 3 for gross profit, equal sign, like what we always start with, we want you to be grabbing the sales and then minusing, so a minus sign, out the cost of merchandise sold and enter. And you'll notice it gives you the same number, but in this case, if we look at the formula or the function that's being used, it's using cell referencing. We're referencing the cells above. So we don't want to just put numbers in here. So let's do a little bit more cell referencing so we can follow it all the way down. So selling expenses, equal sign, find our selling expenses and click. Administrative expenses, put in your equal sign from your keyboard and click on your administrative expenses. Enter. Now when it's time to total those two operating expenses, equals, and we're totaling, so this cell, a plus sign for addition, and this cell here. Enter. Now just in case you forgot, income from operations would be gross profit minus our total operating expenses, so equals, minus, and enter. So one thing that I sometimes see students doing is they're typing in the cell letter and number. That's not very efficient. Don't do that. Instead, when you're picking something up, simply equal sign and then click on the cell you want to reference. If I went ahead and I tried to type in D8, that wouldn't be as fast. Right. And interest expense, there you go, equals, and D3. Formula 10, now just a reminder, hopefully you remember. If you don't, it's not going to kill you in this course, but hopefully you remember revenues are offset by expenses, so we're going to be minusing here to find the net. So we have $1,500 in revenues, $1,000 in expenses, so we have an actual extra $500 in revenues. And then last but not least, for net income, $60,000 for our income from operations, plus the additional other revenues we just found. Now, the purpose of us requiring you to do cell referencing is because as you start doing managerial accounting or any type of financial analysis, once you do get into business or you own your own business, or perhaps you're an accounting major and you become an accounting major, it's very important that you should be able to change these inputs and have this automatically update. So for example, if you decide that sales aren't 500,000, you find that sales are 600,000. We should be able to go up here and click enter and have it automatically update throughout the whole chart. So notice our sales changed. They went up by 100,000. Gross profit went up by 100,000. Income from operations went up by 100,000, and net income went up by 100,000. We could change selling expenses. Let's say that we found that our selling expenses might be a little bit more expensive. Let's say this is a budgeted multi-step income statement. We said, well, what if we spend an extra 20,000 on advertising, which would increase our selling expenses to 90,000? We should be able to just pop that in and it will update everything throughout the whole chart. When you're in managerial, for the majority of your Excel problems that you're going to be doing, we are going to be giving you multiple data sets and check answers so that you could go ahead and grab other data sets, input them into the data section area, and see if this is actually going to populate through correctly. That way you can see if you did all your cell referencing correct. Usually these numbers will be in kind of more of a gold, not highlight, it'll be a text. I don't really have a good gold on my home computer, but it'll be something like gold like this. So the ones that you should be able to change with your data section and your data inputs, they should be in gold. And then your formulas, the ones that you're actually going to be inputting, for most of the time we've been staying really consistent with keeping these some type of dark blue. So if you do have any trouble, please be sure to let us know, but watch this video a couple times, start to get comfortable with cell referencing, and then you should find yourself becoming much more proficient with Excel as you proceed through the course. Thank you so much, and good luck with Excel.